Hi there! Happy Pride Month! I'm so happy about making this video because, as you might know, I love sharing patterns I find online, and I just love to make compilation based around themes, and I just think that being queer and proud is still so difficult in today's current events. So each and every one of these patterns has a space in my heart, and I'm glad they exist, and I really hope by watching this video you think of making them for yourself or for a gift to your significant other or somebody else that's special in your life. Since I'm trans, this is specifically catered towards trans patterns, but I also saved some here and there. There are more rainbowy and other that also have other flag colors and other identities associated within the pattern. So inside the pattern you can find instruction for not only the trans flag colors but also other ones. I saved everything into a Ravelry bundle so you can easily access all of the patterns I'm gonna talk about, and I have divided them into 4 categories. The first one is tapestry and flags. This video is divided into those chapters, so if you have one of these categories that is of more interest to you, you can easily skip ahead and watch them. Our first pattern is Trans Future Tapestry by Lydia Morrow. This is a knitted pattern for a decorative wall hanging. It's made in Aran yarn weight. This came from an embroidery sample for another pattern of the designer, and they made a standalone pattern for this design as a tapestry. It's a gorgeous design depicting a butterfly, a rose, some stars, and around it the writing "Protect Trans Youth." Very similar to my t-shirt. So I honestly love this. I would really love to knit this in the future, and I think it's great. The one made by Lydia and shown in the project page is not necessarily in trans colors, but there are some great ones in the project section on Ravelry, like the one by Just a Paper Tiger, which has the butterfly made with the trans flag color, lovely. And even if it's not finished, there's the one by Ray Yarnista, which has the background made into a trans flag. Lovely, I can't wait to see that finished. Moving on, we have the Trans Rights Wall Hanging by Indie Child. This is made in crochet. It's again another decorative wall hanging, which has the trans flag as well as the writing "Trans rights are human rights," and it ends with some tassels at the end of the wall hanging. I think this would look great even without the tassels, just my personal preference, but I love the writing they chose, and I tried tapestry crochet in the past, and I can honestly say it's easier than I thought it would be, so I think this would be okay even for a beginner. Then we have the Protect Trans Kids banner by Annie Lupton. This one is knitting, decorative wall hanging, made in fingering yarn weight, so I really think this is actually quite small. Even the picture, seeing it compared to a bracelet, I think it's gonna end up like this big, so I think it would make a great patch for a t-shirt or even for the back panel of a jacket. I really like about this one that in the description of the pattern it has some craftivism ideas, so it actually tells you how you should knit and sell, knit and organize a group, knit and hang it in public places for this banner, and I think it applies to other banners too, so that's just great. Back to crochet, we have the Protect Trans Folks Tapestry by Ashley Gorecki. Quite similar to the other ones, This again has the trans flag as a background with the words "Protect Trans Folks" on that. It's another tapestry crochet, and well, since the download is free and it contains the chart for this design, it can also be knitted or cross-stitched, and yeah, it looks nice. For some funkier ones, we have the Transmission by Queer Crochet, another crochet wall hanging. This is a chart for a tapestry design where the text that you are gonna crochet will spell out. It's called a trans mission, not a cis mission. And it's super cute. I love that they made it in the trans flag color. And once again, this would be a lovely patch on a t-shirt or on a jacket. Also by Queer Crochet, we have the cow frog, which is a wall hanging of a frog wearing a cowboy hat. They made it with the trans flag colors, so I'm gonna list off this as a trans frog cowboy. Yeah, but I think you could use this even if you just love frogs or cowboys. And then in the tapestry and flag category, but departing just a little bit from those, we have the LGBT Pride Flag Pencil Toppers by L. Hodgins. These are pencil toppers made in crochet, so there are little flags that you can put on the top of your pencil and wave them around. I think these are super cute. As they are LGBT, they come in different colors and not only in the trans flag color, so you can actually choose your own or make different ones for you and your friends. And just like that, the Pride Flags and Bunting by Cadence Hooked. It's another decorative element made in crochet that you can use as flags. These are bigger ones than the pencil toppers, so I think they are about this size, and you can just hang them on a piece of stick or on a bigger pencil and actually use them as flags. Or this pattern also calls for a bunting, so you can crochet, I think, just a simple chain between them and have them around the room like a garland or a wall decoration, and they look great. I really love the Progress Pride flag because it's so detailed, and I think they managed it, and it looks great. And last on this category, we have the Modular Progressive Pride Flag by Kim Smith for Alternate Universe. This is a flag. This is one of the flags you would see on the street during a pride parade, so it's the dimension of an actual flag. It's huge compared to all the others, and it's the Progressive Pride Flag, so it has the trans flag colors on the inner triangle of the flag, and it looks great. I love the photos for it. I think it actually requires quite a bit of yarn and quite a bit of work, but since it's made in garter stitch, it's absolutely not difficult. You can make it without even purling. We love pattern when you don't have to purl. On to the category accessories for you. This is a tricky one because most of the things that one does, especially in knitting, are usually, most commonly, garments for winter. But since we are in June and quite often the pride parades are very chaotic and very hot spaces, you won't need a lot of this for the specific for like to wear during the pride parade, but I do think you can still enjoy them and maybe knit or crochet them for the winter time. So the first one is the Trans Pride Hooded Scarf by Jennifer Hedrick. This is a crochet scarf that comes with a hood, designed and made in the Trans Pride colors. I absolutely love this. I love the Trans Pride colors. I mean, Of course I'm biased since I'm trans, but I do think and believe this is one of the coolest flags. Anyway, you can make this shorter or longer, just deciding which length you want to go on, and I think it looks neat. Then we have the angled trans flag wrap by Ashley Annero. This is a neat piece for a shawl or a wrap, which has the trans flag color, but they are a little bit subtler because the color work is angled, so it's not fully shown. You'll have to quite lay the shawl out to actually see the trans flag, but if you're wearing it, I think it's a little bit subtler than the other. Anyway, I absolutely love this. I think it looks gorgeous on the person modeling it, and I just love that in the description it says, I designed this pattern for my spouse with the idea that when they are having a bad day, they can wrap themselves up in a snugly secure wrap. So lovely. We love that. We think this is great. Then we have the Transitions Trans Pride Cowl by Elizabeth L. Shell. This is actually a gorgeous piece, which I think it's quite advanced because it has this cable motif that changes between the colors of the trans flag, and it looks stunning. I think it's not gonna be super easy to make. They designed the other cowl for the other flags, so there are other versions available. There's the asexual pride, non-binary, bisexual, pansexual, genderqueer, gender fluid. So yeah, they put a lot of effort into this, and I think it's great. It's wonderful. I would love to see this out in the open. Like this one is the non-binary one, so it looks the same, but with the different colors between the cables. Then we have the Solidarity by Ansel Johnson. This one is a knitted shawl, again with the Progress Pride flag, so it has the trans flag on the inner triangle, and I just wanted to highlight this because in another picture they made another sample with the Palestinian flag colors, and gorgeous, lovely. It is a charity pattern, as many of these are, so either all the profits or a part of the profits goes to associations or to support local trans people, and this one in particular goes to the Gaza Soup Kitchen, and I think it's great. Then we have the Pride Tote by Fern and Fable Makers Guild. This is a crochet bag, a tote bag, that you can make in different colors to have the different flag colors. So the pattern project shows it in the LGBT flag and in the bisexual flag, and of course I think you could make this with the trans flag colors as well, or any other flag colors you would like. Then we have the Put Some Pride in Your Step socks by Oriana Whimsy Stitch. This is a pair of socks which honestly does not seem easy. And in the project photos they are shown in the trans flag colors. There's also a photo in rainbow colors and one in neutral earthy colors, but I'm gonna focus on the trans colored piece. And these are a pair of socks which, as we know from past experiences, socks are not that easy to make, and this also seems quite a complicated pair of socks because they have some lovely angled stitching. I would want to call this entrelac, but I don't know, so don't hold me on that. For the ankle part, then they have the heel made with this rhombus texture, and then on the foot it's not only stockinette, there's also a part that it rips. This is Wow, this it looks like a gorgeous, lovely sock pattern, and the fact that they are showcasing it into the trans flag colors is just much more special to me. Oh, so yeah, in the pattern description, it actually says this is a take on a traditional Estonian spiral rib knit. So yeah, it is a specific and fun way of knitting. It looks amazing. I don't know if I would have the skill to make this, but looks gorgeous. Then we have the Trans Pride Flag Ski Mask by Shady Sheep. The photos for this are wild. There's one specific color where they are wearing this ski mask, a balaclava, dare I say, and they are just posing with some hot sauce. Anyway, this looks like a very fitted accessory. I know lots of people in the community would love this, and I just think it looks great. Again, a pattern that is made in the trans flag colors, but of course you could make it in all the other flag colors too. Did you notice that there's Tabata sleeping in the corner of this video, like over there? I don't know if you can see it in the video, but she has a mirror that's coming out of the case. It's quite funny. She's snoring a little bit. I don't think the microphone can pick it up, but she's snoring. Back to the garments for you, we have the Trans Pride Flag Hand Warmers by Cashon Lotted Lodge. These are knitted fingerless gloves with the trans flag colors on them. Again, you can make these in any colors you want. These are made in the round, no seaming, and I think they are pretty easy and also quite comfortable, because since they are ribbed but they do not have a thumb shaping, they do not require that specific skill, so I think they are pretty easy to make and pretty lovely. Then the Fuck the Systems by Ansel Johnson. It's a knitted beanie with the F trans symbol CK, the systems, written on the beanie, and they used a gorgeous yarn for the background that has the trans flag colors, the self-striping, I think. It's amazing. I really love the yarn they used. In the beanie section, we also have the Trans Pride hat by Jen Markets Gim, another knitted piece that says trans on the front of the beanie. It's knitted in the trans flag color, but kind of a different take compared to the other beanies and patterns, because they are using the parts of the beanie to make specific stripes of the colors. So the pom-pom on the top is one stripe, and the ribbed piece at the bottom is the other end of the flag, and so the beanie is actually made in pink and white with the word trans on it. It looks amazing. For a beanie made in crochet, we have the Trans Pride beanie by Jennifer Hedrick. This has the trans flag on the ribbed part, and then the rest of the hat is made in white yarn. So I think this is also quite easy, and I do believe that if you want to use this beanie also not in a context where you feel free to have the trans flag shown, you can just tuck it under the beanie and still go off and live your day, and it's gonna look great. So I think it's a nice design. And last but not least, we have the Pride Flag bucket hat by Queer Crochet that we met in the previous category talking about tapestries. This is a bucket hat made in crochet with the trans flag color on it. I love this. I really like that the ruffle for this are not made in one single color, but they were changing color in the palette of the trans flag during it, so it didn't came out striped as many of the other patterns we've seen, but it came out just a bit of a mishmash of the color, but you still get the feeling of the trans flag. We have the Rainbow Lanyard by Tamara Kelly. This is a crochet piece of necklace lanyard when you can attach stuff into it. I think it looks great. I would love it as a lanyard, of course in rainbowy color, but you can make it in any other color as well, and of course in colors of the trans flag. Now on to the category garments for you. Starting off with the Pride Sweater by Vanya Blix Langsrud. This is a knitted pullover made in stripes. I think it's a raglan. Yes, it's a raglan that's gonna change color as you go, and while you change the color, you're gonna make the Pride Sweater. So it's in the Pride flags color, and yeah, you can. I think you can make it, of course, in any other colors. The languages for this pattern are only Norwegian, but I do think you can manage this with stitch count and like a translator next to you. I love that in between the colors there's some little details made with stitches in white. It's not just a stripe pattern, but it has these little details that adds this something. And the pattern seems nice because it has a V opening on the side of the sweater, and the back part is longer than the front part. So yeah, it has some little design details that I think looks great. Then the Pride Mesh crop top made in crochet. A lovely piece of mesh crochet that displays the progressive Pride flag. So once again, with the trans flag colors coming in on the shoulder, and I think it looks great even with all the ends to weave in. But it does look finished with all the ends weaved in. And yeah, this is a crop top, but I think following the instruction you could also make just a top, just going on and continuing your work on the torso. But yeah, probably very nice to wear if you are comfortable enough to do it during the hot summer days of a Pride Parade. The queer/sapphic top by Knitting Glitter. I really wanted to include this, even if it doesn't have any specific transness to it. But I really relate with the word queer, so I think it's a lovely knitted tee which has this detail on the front in colorwork spelling out either the word queer or the word sapphic. This is not super easy for a beginner to make a colorwork piece such as this, but I think maybe with a bit of duplicate stitch you could still manage something. And I think maybe if you don't like the word queer or sapphic, you can also start from this pattern and use the word trans or any other word you would like to add to a tee such as this. Then we have the Adult Rainbow Halter Top by Apinia Rostgo. This is a crochet sleeveless top with a rainbow that covers the front of your chest, and then it has kind of a cloud details on the bottom, and I really love that the straps come out of little clouds or flowers as well. So I think it looks really great, very summery, very Pride Parade, you know. And yeah, you can of course make this in any other flag colors. And to finish off this category, we have the Pride Islander Jumper by Meikichki. This is a knitted pullover that has some lovely details concerning Pride flags and Pride colors. So it has the ribbing made in Pride flag colors, and all the body is in a color, but in contrast to that, it has these I think it's color work of dots that are in the colors of the pride flag or the flag you'd want to use. But I really want to focus on the ribbing on this, because the one they made for the project page has the lesbian colors on the bottom of the ribbing, and it has other colors on the ribbing of the wrist, and it looks amazing. This is truly a sweater I would love to have and to own and to make. And yeah, I love that using the different ribbings to explore and express other identities and other flags you feel comfortable with is such a unique detail. And this has no projects on Ravelry, so guys, we gotta make this. We gotta show that this is a nice jumper. And to finish off, the last category I have is accessories for home. Just a few things, because if you don't feel comfortable enough into wearing a garment or an accessories for yourself, accessorizing your home with a tapestry, it's the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. The tapestries are great for gifting, great for yourself, great for wearing at a pride parade, but there are also some other stuff I just wanted to highlight, like the Trans Pride Heart Pillows by Luisa Cabral. This is a crochet pillow of a heart, and the profile photo shows it in the trans flag colors, but of course you can make it in any other colors, and they actually made more pieces in the different flag colors. I think the pride one, they all look great, but this would be lovely on a bed, on a couch, on a sofa, literally everywhere. This pillow is great. Then we have the Rainbow Decoration by Ida at Lemon Bee Designs. This is a crochet hanging that's not really a tapestry since it's a rainbow decoration, but I do have one of these in my house. I made mine in macrame, but crocheting it looks fairly similar. Yeah, I have a rainbow, but of course you could make this in any other color of the flags you'd like. And at last, an idea I thought was pretty funny, which is the Progress Pride Hot Pad by Kinetic Lifesaver. This is a crochet pot holder that you can also use as a coaster, and it's made with the Progress Pride flag, so it has the trans flag on the inner triangle. It's amazing, it's lovely, I think it's great, and it must be fairly easy and simple to make since it's not a bigger garment or a bigger piece. And yeah, you can just have it in your kitchen and be like, oh Dad, I made it. This is everything I had for you today. If you have any other patterns that are trans or pride related, I would love to know them and add them into my bundle so everyone else can see them. So just write the name or link them to me in any way, and I just do my work. If you like this video, I have many other videos where I talk about knitting, my experiences, vlogs, markets, being a fiber artist, art in general, so you can go to my channel and watch some more. Thank you so much for hanging around with me. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I really hope you get to portray your pride, maybe at a pride parade, maybe just in your home or with friends, wherever you feel safer. You are not alone. The world may be cruel and an awful place, but we remain kind and whimsical and with each other, so yeah. If you can, please consider supporting any trans organization or trans-owned business, and just stay safe out there. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!